There are many problems around the world. We all know this. You know it. I know it. And a lot of them may seem impossible to fix. But if we all work together, we can fix these problems and make the impossible possible. While there are many topics I could focus on today, I'm going to be focusing on these three topics: water contamination and shortage in third world countries, ending poverty in developing regions, and stopping pollution in our oceans. These are all serious issues going on currently, and they can be fixed if we come together and work as a whole. They won't be easy, but it is possible. Clean water is critical to the human life, poverty reduction, a sustainable economy, and peace and security. While this might not be a problem for us in the US, it is a problem in third world countries. Surprisingly enough, over 40% of the global population does not have access to the clean water they need to live and thrive during their lives. According to UN Water, by the year 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in countries or regions with water scarcity. As it shouldn't need to be said, this is a huge problem that needs to be fixed sooner than later. Also, up to 80% of illnesses in developing countries are caused by or from non-sufficient water and sanitation. So, how do we fix this? There are a number of things we could do, such as protect and restore water-related ecosystems. We could also ensure there is adequate sanitation and hygiene. And finally, we must improve management and quality of their water resources. This would be done by the communities themselves, because after all, if they can't manage it after we're gone, it's just going to go back to how it was in the first place. Now, we've all come into contact with someone that is in poverty before, whether it be someone sitting outside your local Walmart or a disabled veteran sitting on the side of the road. Also, did you know that 1 in 10 people in developing regions still live on less than $1.90 a day, US dollar standard? An astounding number, I know, it surprised me a lot too. Poverty is more than just a lack of income, though. It includes things like hunger and malnutrition, limited access to education and other basic needs, social discrimination and exclusion, and a lack of participation and decision-making. Ending poverty in all of its forms is one of the first of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, according to the United Nations. So, what do we do now? Well, we need visionary policies for sustainable economic growth, from the support of full employment and decent work for all. We also need social integration, declining inequality, and a better environment for the people too. Each year, billions of pounds of trash and pollutants enter the ocean. Some of it floats onto our beaches, while some sinks. Some even get eaten by the sea life that mistake it for the food that they eat. Some ends up in our ocean gyres and ends up creating huge garbage patches. There are other forms of pollution, such as oil spills from cargo ships or dispersed fertilizer from our yards. One of the biggest sources of pollution is non-point source pollution. This occurs as a result of runoff from things such as vehicles, farms, ranches, harvest areas, and septic tanks. Pollution from a single source is known as point source solution. Examples of these are a chemical or oil spill. Point source solution events happen less often but have much larger impacts. An example would be the Persian Gulf War oil spill in 1991. Estimates put the number of gallons of oil spilled from into the ocean anywhere between 380 million and 520 million gallons. Point source pollution events happen less often but have larger impacts. Discarded fishing lines entangle turtles and birds, and other plastics choke and clog the stomachs of sea life who mistake it for their food. To stop this, we can do a couple of things. Reuse your plastics whenever possible. Might not seem like a very big deal, but you ever notice just how much plastic you go through from day to day? Don't use unneeded plastics like plastic takeaway cups or containers. You can also use reusable water bottles and bags instead of plastic ones. Also, don't buy items wrapped in plastic. Avoid it as much as possible. Finally, when you see plastic on the side of the road or in your local park, collect it and recycle it if possible. And if you can't recycle it, please throw it in the trash can. Not only does it save the environment, it makes our roads and parks cleaner too. And while these are all problems, I haven't even started talking about the ocean yet. The garbage in our ocean, to be specific. Our ocean's turning into a plastic soup. Day by day, more plastic keeps getting into it. It's estimated that 12 million metric tons of plastic enter our ocean each year. It's huge. The amount of plastic and the problem. So, we went over some very important topics today. I hope you all watching see just how important and huge these issues are today. They affect us, your neighbors, and people you'll never even know. They even affect the earth itself. And while they may seem impossible for a person to do on their own, that's because they are. If we all join together and come together as one, we can make the planet a better place and safer for us with our own hands. Thank you.